Your concern creates a desire. I'm very concerned about something, I want to go do something about it. And this is where the idea of himma comes. How do you find motivation? Not just temporary motivation that lasts 30 minutes after the talk, but a motivation that stays with you for as long as possible. Musa alayhi salam, the Prophet Musa alayhi salam, he walks into the center of Egypt, he sees two people fighting, he jumps in to do something about it, and he kills one person by mistake. What motivated him? The next day, he killed someone by mistake. This is a big problem. It's a huge issue. He's on the blacklist now, wanted list. The next day he comes, he sees two people fighting. His motivation is not deflated. He's ready to go again. What motivates Musa alayhi salam on the second day? Why is he still motivated the second day to get involved? The secret is in the dua that Musa alayhi salam makes. When he goes, he sees some injustice, he tries to intervene, he kills a man by mistake. Who knows, what did he say straight away? قال هذا من عمل الشيطان إنه عدو مضل مبين. He said, oh Allah, this is from the shaitan, the intercession of the shaitan, he is an enemy. Then what did he say after that? قال رب اغفر لي فغفر له إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. He said, oh Allah, please forgive what I've just, the mistake I've done. Allah forgave him, Allah is the forgiving, the merciful. فأصبح في المدينة خائفا يترقب فإذا الذي استنصره بالأمس يستصرخه. He comes the next day. He's more careful today. But when somebody calls him out, it touches something deep down. Why? Musa alayhi salam has witnessed years and years of apartheid, years and years of injustice. He's seen his people be slaughtered. He's seen his people be chained. He's seen his people be enslaved. Do you think that goes away? When you see that a day after day after day after day after day, you will have a burning desire that I have to fix the injustice. I can't just watch. When the injustice is close to home, then you'll be ready to tear up everything. You're not going to give up. Because it's a personal experience that touched you so deeply. This is the motivation that we need. We're not looking for motivation that ends day after tomorrow. We want the motivation that becomes a burning fire that never leaves you. How do you find that fire? You've all mentioned so many factors of motivation. One of the important parts of motivation is to tap into your own personal life, your own personal experiences. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala leaves you clues in your life. Things happen in your life. When you look back, you say, this is the day that I realized this happened to me. I saw this happen, therefore I will never let it happen again. You'll be a man or a woman on a mission. Why? Because it happened to you personally. Personal things happen to you. And this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala pushing you in a particular direction, giving you a permanent fire, not a motivation that lasts for 2 days. You see, you can only fake motivation and manufacture motivation for so long. At some point it disappears. You can only put oil on the fire so many times before it disappears. But the deep motivations are intrinsic. They are not dependent on outside people and company and environment. And the deep motivation comes from within yourself, within your past, within your love of Allah, within what you want to see in the hereafter. Some people, they feel, I'm not motivated to do anything. I really just want to, every day I wake up and I just want to continue like a zombie autopilot. I don't have any motivation. For such people, you have to do this activity. The activity is called the deathbed activity. Take a piece of paper, blank piece of paper, you sit down. Imagine the day you are on your deathbed. And you're going to write a letter to your children to tell them what you left behind for them, what legacy you left behind on this earth. Did Allah mention a deathbed speech somewhere in the Quran? Somewhere, Surah Al-Baqarah? Deathbed speech? One of the prophets gave to his sons? Who gives me the ayah? أَمْ كُنْتُمْ شُهَدَاءَ إِذْ حَضَرَ يَعْقُوبَ الْمَوْتِ. Were you present when Yaqub was about to pass away? إِذْ قَالَ لِبَنِيهِ مَا تَعْبُدُونَ مِن بَعْدِي. He brings all his sons. He says, what will you worship when I'm gone? This is my legacy, sons. My only legacy is when I die, you all have to establish the worship of Allah on this earth. You on your deathbed, you're about to meet Allah. On a piece of paper, you have to write down, what am I going to meet Him with? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks you the question, you were alive, I gave you years, I gave you money, I gave you time, I gave you health. What did you do? What answer will you prepare for Allah? You have to write it down on the paper. You have to do this activity. This paper, you have to tape to the wall from the next day. Because every time you see this paper, you will realize this is what gives you the motivation that I have to prepare this answer for Allah. When Musa alayhi salam comes and Allah gives him the message, He gives him the mission, first Allah introduces Himself again. إني أنا الله العزيز الحكيم إنني أنا الله لا إله إلا أنا فاعبدني وأقم الصلاة لذكري. Now, I am Allah. This is your first motivation. I am Allah. That's who you're working for, Habibi. Great. Second motivation. إن الساعة آتية أكاد أخفيها لتجزى كل نفس بما تسعى. The hour is coming. Everything you do from today, Musa, is just preparation for this hour. If you are not constantly remembering and recollecting the hour that is to come, why would you have motivation to do anything? So himma, desire, ambition, the want to do something, motivation, it comes from this place, a deep place inside your soul where you received some injury, some injustice, some difficulty in your life, and through that Allah wanted you to use you to serve Him. You think if Musa alayhi salam didn't grow up inside the palace and witness his brothers being slaughtered, do you think he would have that motivation to face Fir'aun? You see the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if he didn't witness people going around the Kaaba naked and 365 idols in the Kaaba, you think he would have the motivation? The motivation to go and 23 years and the sabr, the patience, the struggle. Motivation by nature, it ebbs and it flows. It goes up and down. So there's a part of it that's consistent, some fundamental motivation that's consistent, and some of it goes up and down. So we said the first motivation, the first source of motivation is to tap into your personal life, and you ask yourself, what happened in my life? This sadness, this anger, this rage, this injustice. And I need to use this to serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala every day of my life. The kind of motivation that kept Nelson Mandela going after 27 years in Robben Island. The kind of motivation that kept Musa alayhi salam going after murdering somebody by mistake. The next day he's back at work. No break, no sick leave, no mental health day, no anxiety leave. Back at work the next day, no stress leave. He's back again. This fire of motivation is what kept the prophets going. What does Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah say about al-himma, about motivation? He says, al-himmatu ma yamliku al-inbi'ath lil-maqsudi sirfan la yatamaliku sahibuha wa la yaltafitu anha. When there's a level, when you deeply desire something, it overtakes you with a passion, such that you have no interest in doing anything else. There's a drive that overcomes you, such that there's no interest in going or doing anything else. Where does this drive come from? Ultimately and fundamentally, the drive and the motivation comes from one thing. First, the starting point is knowing Allah and understanding what He has in store for you. We talked about this in the very first session. Being able to visualize the rewards of Allah and visualize the consequences of Allah, not treat them like they're some imaginary realities. He says, to have an aspiration, an ambition, a desire, in the short time that I'm on this earth, how can I achieve the closest position to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? There is a level of competitiveness that drives you. What does Allah say? Does Allah talk about competition in the Quran? Competing? وَفِي ذَلِكَ فَلْيَتَنَافَسِ الْمُتَنَافِسُونَ السَّابِقُونَ وَالسَّابِقُونَ السَّابِقُونَ وَسَارِعُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ وَسَابِقُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ. All of these ayahs in the Quran, Allah is talking about competition towards Him. I want you to imagine another thing. This will help you. This will give you motivation. I want you to imagine the Day of Judgment. You've come, and all the people from your area, from your town, from your class have come, and they're all being entered into Jannah one by one, one by one, one by one, one by one. And you know how in school days you're the last. There's one person, the last person picked on the football team. You're the last person there standing. You're not sure, will I be in the lowest level of Jannah? Will I even make it? A crushing realization comes over you. Am I even going to pass the buck? Am I even going to get through the door? That's how you feel on the day of your exam results, or the day when you see an email response for a job interview. You're not sure. You're shaking. Is it me? Did I make it? Did I not? This feeling of being left behind, they call it today FOMO, fear of missing out. People exercise FOMO today in so many ways. They say they're constantly checking their phone because they think they're missing out on something. Some of their friends are having a party, they're constantly worried. Why? What's wrong, Habibi? I don't know what I'm missing out. Obviously, you're not missing out on anything. But there is this fear, what am I missing out on? This fear of missing out is something that has to drive you to realize, and me to realize, what we will be missing out if we come last on the Day of Judgment. What we will be missing out if we become left behind on the Day of Judgment. Part of motivation, part of this himma, is being uninterested in the trinkets and the temporary pleasures of this world. That's part of the reason why people are motivated. When you see somebody coming to the masjid for Fajr every day, sitting for 1 hour, and you think, wow, I wish I could do this. The motivating factors for such people is that they are not interested in what everybody else is interested in. Everybody else is chasing some temporary illusion, some temporary satisfaction. And it takes you to taste one of those temporary things and say, nah, there's nothing here, guys. I tasted it, I felt good for about 3 minutes, and it's gone. That's it. But these acts of worship and these acts of closeness to Allah that I engage in, the pleasure doesn't go in 5 minutes. The pleasure stays with me, and I will see it again on the Day of Judgment. So often it takes one trying or ending up in a situation where you taste some of these pleasures to realize this is really not something interesting for me.